For many generations, football in England wasn't just a game, but a way of life, passed down through families, built into communities, rooted in working class culture. But now, something's changing. Many are asking a difficult question. Has football left those very people who founded the game behind? For thousands of fans, going to a match isn't just expensive anymore, but it's becoming impossible.
It's just so expensive. It's too expensive to go to the game nowadays for an average fan. I think obviously with Everton's new ground and the increase in ticket prices and the increase in food and drink, it is noticeable how people are, I think, starting to become a little bit more angry about everything that surrounds going to football. For the average person to just think about going to match solely, I think they have to start thinking about everything now. The kick-off time has changed. They have to start thinking about how that affects their work life. And it's been noticeable this season, just from a point of view of an Everton fan, because I don't think we've sold out once. And for a new stadium not to sell out in its first 6 months of operation, that clearly shows that there isn't an appetite to pay the prices that they're trying to charge.
It's now a £1 billion industry, and the fan is definitely paying the price.
If you take a look at the Premier League, on average, we've got occupancy at 98.8% of available seats. So it's a fantastically popular product. So what club owners are saying, well, if we can sell all of our tickets for £30, let's put them up to 35. If they're still selling at 35, we'll put them to 40, then to 50, and so on. So we have seen in the post-COVID environment a change in the culture driven by the owners. The tickets are selling out, and Economics 101 says you keep increasing prices until you no longer sell the goods.
Many football clubs have become global brands, meaning that tourist marketing has increased drastically. In every Big Six side, matchday revenue has doubled since 2009 and rose by 20% in a single year in the 2024-25 season, the highest ever recorded.
What I think is happening at Liverpool is Liverpool are selling hospitality packages in what was previously a corporate environment to, for instance, richer families who may well have come from abroad and who can afford, because if you're going to fly from New York City, well, what's your first big cost? It's the cost of the flights. It's not the cost of the tickets on the other side. So part of your trip to the UK that you want to make 10 days out of as a family of 4 coming from New York, Liverpool are charging and making available significant sort of hospitality tickets. I think the idea at Anfield of a working class family wakes up one day and decides they want to go to the match together as a family of 4, it's just fiction. It's impossible because of the access points. If somehow there was an organic situation where you were able to get a family of 4 together, then you'd be looking at something like that. Your tickets would be £200. If they wanted to go to the city centre beforehand for something to eat, then you're looking at that being £100 at somewhere like Pizza Hut, and suddenly we're at 300, and that's before we've done any travel.
Not only have hospitality packages pushed the legacy fan away, but broadcasting deals have also exploded in value. The Sky Sports era transformed football into an entertainment sphere, and other streaming providers like TNT Sports and Amazon Prime have also jumped on the bandwagon, pricing out the fan from home too. As a result, many have turned to illegal streaming sources, also known as dodgy sticks.
We've been priced out of attending matches physically, and we've been priced out of having a subscription, because you now need Sky and Discovery and Amazon, and I think from next year we've got a new broadcast partner entering the environment. And by the time you work out of those total costs, something you can get from Big Dave down the pub, which might only last you 6 or 7 months for £50, actually it works out far more cost effective than the 4 figures that it will now cost you to have a subscription for all of the broadcasters.
The cost of watching your club has pushed some fans towards a legal grey area. We spoke to someone who uses a dodgy stick and who says for them it's the only way they can still afford to watch the game they love.
A dodgy box I started using probably 2018, 2019. I haven't been to Anfield now for a game since literally just before COVID, because you just can't afford it. It's literally an arm and a leg. All my friends have dodgy sticks. I actually pay £85 a year, and it is the best £85 because I get to watch Liverpool live in here. Can't get a ticket to go to the game. can't afford to get TNT. What's the next best thing? Get a dodgy stick.
Police crackdowns have led to prison sentences for those selling illegal streams, including a man from York who made over £1 million selling the service. However, it's not just the suppliers that are in the spotlight anymore. Over 1,000 fans in 2025 were given formal warnings to stop using them, a sign the net may be tightening for the consumer.
I don't like getting in trouble with the police. I've only ever been in trouble with the police once before. So the fact that you could have the police knocking at your door going, you're using the stick and then get prosecuted is fearful. However, it's that fix, isn't it? It's wanting that fix, wanting to watch Liverpool.
Events like non-league day saw nearly a 12% rise in attendance in 2025, showing growing interest at the lower tiers as fans look for cheaper alternatives to consume the beautiful game.
I'm a Manchester United fan, grew up in Old Trafford, but after the Glazers takeover, my view on that was I wasn't going to give the club any more money while the Glazers were in charge. And one of the things that came out of that was the idea of FC United as a fan-owned club. I think for me, the one thing we'll say at FC United, our fans are in charge of the ticket price. If we're going to change the ticket price, it goes to a vote with our members and they decide on it. So unlike having some faceless millionaire deciding how much tickets are, if we believe we need to increase ticket prices to make the club sustainable, that's down to us to do. I think there's been a real boom in non-league over the last few years of people wanting something different and being able to bring the kid along to a game and enjoy a football match and enjoy the day out without it breaking the bank for them. I think for me, if elite football continues down this path of unsustainability, you're only going to see more and more interest in non-league.
Across the game, there are growing calls for change. Fan-led campaigns like 20's Plenty have seen Liverpool fans push for price caps in their recent match versus Crystal Palace this past weekend. And communities are finding new ways to keep the spirit of a match day alive in lower-tier football. So, what could the future look like if the FA and the Premier League chose to listen?
For many football fans, historically, going to the match at the weekend was your one escape.
Price of things is thoroughly artificial. Football's artificial. Everyone acts as though football's every facet of football has been handed down by God and it's dictated to by forces that are far greater than human comprehension. No, it's a game. The rules are made up by people. The league system is made up. Everything is made up by people who've come together and said this is the way we want to do this. Well, one of the rules can be we'll cap the prices at 50 quid and we'll raise them by inflation once every 5 years. That could literally be a rule. They could choose to enact that at the next Premier League meeting.
What they could do is they could work in collaboration with other football organisations across Europe, and you can pay a subscription to them and then you get to watch whatever game you want to watch centrally rather than all these other different broadcasters.
At the moment, if we feel ripped off walking into that ground, then we know we're being ripped off buying food and drink, and therefore we'll stop doing that, or we'll stop going into the club shop. So the club might be getting £60-70 offers for our ticket, but they're not getting any more money offers. Now they could drop those prices down to £40, and suddenly we go into the club shop and spend £40, and we're on the concourse of spending another £20, and they've got their money anyway. So I think football clubs have got to get their heads together and realise that they'll still get the money, but you'll get it off a happy fan.
We posed the question to the FA and the Premier League. Have the working class been priced out, and are they partially responsible? However, they both declined to comment. Solutions are in abundance, but the reality is painful. The game fans built is slowly slipping out of reach. As player wages continue to increase with club competition, the problem starts with the owners driving the costs up. And yet, the passion hasn't gone anywhere. It now lives on in non-league grounds, in living rooms, and in voices that still sing, even if they're no longer heard inside the stadium. Because football without fans isn't football at all. But the question remains, who is the game really for now?